Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Frank and Candid. I'm Tony Nias. Glad to have you on board. Let's begin with what's in the news as usual. Let's go to Cuba. Cuba began yesterday vaccinating against COVID-19 all of its health sector, from doctors, nurses, technical and support staff, with the Sovereign 2 vaccine as part of phase 3 trials in all of Havana medical institutions. The news was confirmed by the Center for the Control of Medicines and Medical Devices. Adding scientific personnel and supporting staff in several scientific institutions will also be immunized, turning Cuba into the first country in Latin America to start using its own made vaccine. 150,000 people will be participating in the trial. Cuba has 5 anti-COVID-19 vaccine projects, with which the country could become the first in Latin America to fight coronavirus by applying its own vaccine. This advance for a tiny country that has been subjected to an economic, commercial, and financial U.S. blockade for more than half a century is a breakthrough that is already setting global trend with the Sovereign 2 vaccine candidate. All right, and Royal Caribbean is getting ready to set sail again after nearly a year off. The cruise line announced that starting June 11th, they would begin offering cruises aboard the Adventure of the Seas from its new home port in Nassau, Bahamas. The entire ship will be vaccinated, and adult guests must be fully vaccinated against the COVID-19. Guests on the 18-year-old must have recently tested negative for the virus. We are excited to get back to delivering memorable vacations in the Caribbean. That's a quote from the CEO of Royal Caribbean International. The vaccines are clearly a game changer for all of us, and with the number of vaccinations and their impact growing rapidly, we believe that starting with cruises for vaccinated adult guests and crew is the right choice. The cruise industry has been at a halt since the beginning of the pandemic. However, the CDC has laid out guidelines for cruises to resume sailing. And here's a sad story out of Jamaica. In a virtual vaccine town hall meeting last Friday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness stated that the government takes missing Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine very seriously. A vial containing 10 doses of the vaccine went missing from the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay on Monday. That was the same day that Jamaica became the first Caribbean country to receive a vaccine shipment via the COVAX facility. The Prime Minister underscored that the country must have faith, trust, and confidence, not only in the safety of the vaccine, but also in the equitable, safe, and efficient nature of the distribution of the vaccine. A full investigation has been launched to determine where there was any negligence, malfeasance, deliberate theft, or corruption involved. Imagine that. People will steal anything, huh? Stealing COVID. All right. But on the other side of that, let me give you some good news out of Florida Keys. A server in the Florida Keys was in for a massive surprise after a customer left behind a generous surprise. Castaway Waterfront Restaurant and Sushi Bar in Marathon, that's in the Keys, posted a photo showing a receipt left behind by a customer who left a $10,000 tip on a $193 order. Cara Wilson, who is a server at the restaurant, told the newspaper that the tip came from a woman named Pam. She said Pam had a party of 10 and they were waiting on more guests to arrive. Wilson said she struck up a conversation with Pam and learned she was visiting from Oklahoma. The woman planned to fly out on a private plane. Wilson said she continued to work, and later on Pam approached her and asked her how many people were on staff. She asked her why did she want to know this. He told her it would be a surprise, but that I needed to share whatever that surprise with the staff. The surprise turned out to be $10,000 tip to be shared between 14 employees. So, there's still good people in the world with good hearts. All right. Just thought I'll share that with you as a piece of good news. Okay, now, let's talk a little bit about something that we have talked about before, and it's talked about across the region, and you get most people in support of this. If I were to ask whether you would support a buy local campaign, how would you vote? Most people would say, yes, I support a buy local campaign. I believe in buying local, supporting local farmers, and all of that. And so do I. And I've always advocated for buying local and supporting the local farmer for a lot of reasons, because we can go to and point to all kinds of reasons why we should support the local farmer. From the fact that, from a health perspective, from the fact that money stays in the economy. Now, we're in a tourist economy. In theory, tourism can be an important development tool in third world countries. In addition to generating employment and foreign exchange, it can create linkages between and with, and it can accelerate growth in several economic sectors, such as food production, processing, and these expected linkages, however, often fail to materialize, especially in the small and open economies of the Caribbean. Much of the food that the tourists consume is actually imported, right? Which reduces the net economic impact of tourist expenditure in the islands and represents a loss of potential employment and income for local farmers. So, with that in mind, we all would support the local campaign, the buy local campaign, right? And so do I. However, I had a conversation which sets in some reality and now make you think of it. When you talk about buy local, you got to add a caveat to that, and that is when practical. And I say that because of a conversation I had with a businessman who has to deal with this, or had to deal with this on a regular basis. And he made a decision which, to me, went against everything I believed in, until he started to explain. You see, the businessman, don't have to call any names out, but I'll tell you what kind of business he's in. He sells fruit, a particular fruit, to some major outlets here, major supermarkets here in St. Kitts. He supplies them with this particular fruit. Now, he spent a lot of time, and like anybody who have been in sales or marketing and so on would understand that it's a tough business to persuade people or companies to do business with you. And once you achieve that goal, it is important to hold on to that customer because of the fact that how difficult it is to persuade them in the beginning to do business with you. And it is said that it takes 3 times as much effort and resources to get back a customer that you have lost than it does to just keep them, make them happy, keep them happy. So he has made the effort. He now has agreement with a number of outlets to supply this particular food product, this fruit. Now, he was one of those people who believed that you should buy local and was willing to give the local a chance. Okay? He had invested a lot in time and other resources into setting up this business. He has storage facility for this particular fruit, He understands the science. He has the climate controlled storage, for which he understands that this food, if it's stored, it must be kept at that particular temperature, so that it doesn't go bad too quickly. He can bring in this fruit into his storage facility and distribute it out to the different supermarkets that he has an agreement with. And so he thinks, and he starts out thinking that, well, here's an opportunity for me to support the local farmer. However, he learned quickly that he was going to run into a problem, and a problem so severe that would have caused him to lose these outlets that he had spent so much time trying to gain their trust and confidence and gain their business. Because the reality for him was that he could not find a dependable supply. He would have his fruit supplied to him one week, but next week the farmer couldn't come up with it in the numbers that he wanted to distribute to his clients, which for him creates a major problem, because now what does he do? You have to go back to people who had spent a lot of time with trying to gain their trust and confidence in business to say, well, I can't supply you this week. Now, if you are Rams and you're Best Buy and these outlets that need this product, what would I say to you if you're the businessman who I have signed an agreement with to supply me with this food from my shelves every week, and every so often you come to me and say, well, I can't supply you this week. Why I can't supply you this week? Well, my farmers didn't bring any this week. No, that doesn't work. That's not practical. And so, in all this talk about using the local farmer and buying local, he found that in a practical sense, that was a problem, because the farmers couldn't come up, couldn't stay up. And that was a conversation from an individual businessman who ran into that problem. But I've heard that problem before. I've heard that problem being expressed before by outlets like hotels, like the Marriott, for example. Many years ago, the Marriott made the same argument that, well, I would like to buy local, but I depend on X amount of pounds per week of food. And what do? We have found that we cannot get the amount of food per week that we said we wanted on a regular basis. The supply must be consistent, it must be timely, it must be of high quality. We couldn't get that combination on a regular basis. So what do? We have to now go to another source. And that source is not going to be a source that wants to supply me in a haphazard way. So I have to find a way to get an agreement with that supplier that I'm going to give them consistent business. Otherwise, it's not worth it. I can't say that, when the farmer doesn't supply me this week, when he comes and say he doesn't have it, then I run to you because you would be engaged in something else. But if I engage you on a regular basis, I know for sure that it's coming. So this individual business person decided to go a different route and a more consistent route and supply the supermarkets that he has a business with, relationship with. And so he now imports that food by the container loads on a regular basis, and he's able to supply these outlets and keep his business. So even though we talk about supporting the farmer, supporting the Buy Local campaign, there are some challenges. And where does that challenge come from and how does it come about? Well, that's the question. Why is it that we want to support locals, but Rams or Best Buy or Value Mart or Marriott or some other hotel might be saying to us, well, I can't really depend on them because this week they bring me something good and timely, and next week they fall short, and I can't run a business that way. That has been the argument against doing business locally. That's my take. You may have a different take. You may want to rebut that. 465-2555 is the local number. 718-577-2916. We will talk about buying local and the challenges that's involved with that. So we got the phones lit up, so let's go to the phone and say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm listening here to you.
Yes.
You know, and they're talking about the farmers.
Yes.
But there is someone that have to get some interest in the farmers and what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're saying that, you know, sometimes the supermarket might be saying that they are not always up to what they're doing, like have the produce, you know, at the time when they need it.
Mm-hmm.
But someone from the agriculture department can be doing some marketing, you know, in this area. Because if they go out and they see what the farmers have and when they have it or when the crops will be available, they'll be able to manage along with the supermarket to tell them when they should be ordering from overseas or when they should be dealing with the farmers. So, you know, you are just throwing it down at the farmers is not good enough. You know, we have a marketing department, at least from the agriculture department, and they should be doing some, you know, in helping them. You know, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Clearly.
Yeah, you know, you go out and you see when they will be having tomatoes. You say in the next 3 months, the farmers will be having tomatoes. So we're not going to order any. You understand? You put a tag on that. You know you don't order any tomatoes in the next 3 months because you know they will be having. And in the season when they will be having it. So we have to do better. We are throwing something at the farmers that I think that, you know, the agriculture department should be doing some help in helping them to, you know, market this stuff and, you know, work along with the hotels, the supermarket, as to when these things will be ready, and when they're ready, we don't order any. So please, someone, just think about that and let us help our farmers because they're hurting.
Got you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Sure. I think the caller there is making an argument for a Simaco type operation. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
No, yes.
Yes, sir.
You're surprised that Cuba making the vaccine up. Remember they sent Dr. all over the world, you know?
No, no surprise.
We don't know they're going to do if they do one thing. But I tell you yesterday, man don't do as they like. Man don't want to sell. Man don't want to keep. Man keep anything or no. Man a keep garbage pan now. They have to garbage pan somebody garbage pan. So what is man not going to keep?
Yeah, the one man's garbage.
And that's what make up the news, you know.
Yeah.
We say if we don't have that, this man couldn't put that, and then you couldn't bring it. So round the whole world, is what man do coming in news, and that's where they got news, and that's where they got lawyer, and that's where they got police, that's where they got judge, because everything come under one head in. You check what I say.
Yes.
So that's what we do. That's what we work on until whenever who come with me, no who won't come. But whoever come.
Whoever
I will
come.
tell the best.
Okay, good man. All right, we're going back to the phones. Say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Tony?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning, family.
Good morning, family.
Boy, you sound gooder and gooder every day. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, okay.
You make me laugh yesterday when the partner asked if you just go fishing.
Oh.
And you say, in the shore? Something I said, you mean, my partner afraid the deep. And I like the deep waters, man. I like to swim in deep waters. You put hang a put up on the silence and a reef under there.
True.
Now, let me say, as you read out there about the vaccine that reached Jamaica, and one cannot be accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I heard the news since in the week when they started broadcasting it, and I said, boy, it's a shame to see that these things are so important the what you call it, the preservation of human life. And you're going to tell me that these things you reach so far from where they was made. And I know definitely is medical personnel had to handle these things.
Yeah.
Not no lumberyard truck carry them and drop them after you. And badness have to creep in that.
Well, I believe somebody planning to create a black market for that. Somebody going to sell a dose of, and it sounds to me like you say, like a medical person who would take it and probably willing to go offer doses of this vaccine to people.
That is so shameful.
Yeah.
And bad. I mean, it ain't to say that they take out a handful of nail. Is that they're going to do with it? Black market work? And these, let me tell you something, wrongness, badness, worthlessness, everything that is destructive, they ain't going to stop until Jesus Christ returns to this earth here. And it shouldn't be so. People, be honest, man, with yourself, man. If you can't be honest with yourself, you ain't going to be honest with other people. And let me tell you something, Tony. My friend is my conscience, Jesus, my Bible, and my money, and my family. You hear me? And me making a joke with nobody. When you come around me, if you thief, don't come near. And if you lie, don't come near. Tony, I will rather give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to a rally cockabee man than for somebody tell a lie on me and come thief anything from me. We have to protect what we have. In Miami, sometime ago, they thief an ambulance. They could thief a big vehicle on 4-wheel. What they wouldn't do with a little vial or something.
Yep.
Oh boy, Father. That's why Barry Salmon got to sing this song. Come down, Father. Come down. And he gonna reach down and catch them, Stop it, man. We in St. Kitts Nevis here, we are very courteous when it comes to treating strangers. But we don't get that outside. We don't get it. And we have to continue protecting our country. This is ours. And when anybody come here and they bring the bad habit, we have to be vigilant and jump on it one time. Keep back your bad habit and then come clean. Thank you, Tony.
Okay, thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yeah. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Tony, I am so good at female caller. I believe the department full time now. So the department get serious and work with the local farmers them and try to get business out there for them. Because remember we had a Simako, a depot, where the local farmers used to carry the products. And when you get them, sell, you carry them there. Sell them to the Simako. You say to the government, and the government will point whether the supplier office or wherever, so ship them where else or whatever. We ain't have it anymore. And I am so good that I believe that now, when you got these things and we working with the supermarket, when we see that we stock up, the local farmers stock up with provision, stock up with food in the federation, you cut down the order until whenever you let the supermarket and cut down some of the order in. And then I believe that they could make agreement with the local supermarket and the farmers and work out with that. I believe something like that. So, and the next thing is with the farmers them got to get together too. Because it seems like all the farmers them, they want to plant everything at the same time. If you plant sweet potato, plant sweet potato. If someone planting pindo, plant pindo. And I believe that they will work out for the farmers them. But when you plant everything and everything else get on for you one time, and you don't have enough sale for them, that is what going to cause you to, cause the business to get collapse and food waste. Because you wouldn't have nobody to get this food too. Because you want to get them just like that. You want the food to sell to make money. Because at least that you got to pay the shop there, you got to pay plow, and you got to pay for, what the market these things. So Tony, I will like to see the agriculture department get more serious and try to work with the farmers. Okay then, Tony?
Okay.
I hear with the animal them as usual,
Okay.
You hear them through the radio?
Yes, I do. Okay.
All right.
All right, let's go back to the phone. Good morning, good morning.
It's good morning, Mr. Nair.
Good morning, sir.
Talking about farming, talking about farmers, they referring to persons like myself. are going to turn it up a different ante now. They're saying they want the country to go back to how it was, to build back the economy. But look at it this way. Why should we, as a people in this country, go build back the economy to please the minority few? I could recall the very first time we had the shutdown because of the corona, they told the farmers to stay home. The farmers and neighbors was able to go on their farm and they was able to donate things to the hospital and the police. While the farmers and Sankits was at home like they was in prison. What we heard was how much containers of food up the dock, while the farmers produced in the farm and they could not go attend to them. My thing is that if they want we the people of this country to get herd immunity, we need herd immunity with the sugar land store. Let us develop our sugar, our agriculture industry with our sugar land. People of this country, until I am not telling you to take it or not to take it, but we have it in our hands now. For us to take charge of our sugar land, we need to know how much acres of our sugar land have been sold and how much is available to us. Let us go out and demand no vaccination unless we know what's going on, and we must build our agriculture industry in case a second pandemic reoccur. We know, look the two pier down there. No cruise ship could go in down there. But yet still, boat coming in with food. The thing is it's a shame. The total shame. We the people of this country, let us stand together. Let us demand. We want we land. We're going to develop our agricultural industry. There's no agricultural industry without land. We have more than enough water and St. Kitts. I believe yesterday was World Water Day. We have so much water on the ground. We do not know how it goes. And yet still it's selling we land, and we do not know if those are prime areas where our water is at. Nobody doing nothing, no kind of investigation to decide, okay, we can't sell this portion of land. This land is not to be touched because under there is with water. Because, for example, when in America, when they give Mexico the piece of land, they did not know oil under the land, and now it turn back to burn the Americans. We need to, I'll tell you something to you. You got a man named Jerome Pinney, right? I could contest to this. That I went nervous on the badge when the truck that could dig well went to Nevis. We supposed to get back into what we had. How come water on the top of Forget the Hill? How come water on the top of Boardwalk Hill? Because they dig well and they carry water there. They are not expanding the water supply for we the people.
Okay.
We cannot go into farming without they expand the water supply. We have more than enough water. We need to go into it. Next week, I'm going to invite you this time instead of ask you to come. And next week, I invite you to come and show you what I'm doing. Good morning. Good morning.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nayas.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, I just want to throw two things on the table.
Uh-huh.
Now, the first one I want to put on the table is the vaccination.
Yes.
Now, this is for the taxi drivers and the people in the hotel who are suffering from the tourist industry.
Mm-hmm.
I appealing to them to go and take the vaccination so the ships and the planes then could start floating in here like nothing. Because we have to reach at least 70 to 80% before them ships start coming here. So if them taxi drivers then want Hasford to take back the bus and so on, while we're not TDC who's selling the bus, I appeal to them to go and take the vaccination so the ships then could come in. Okay, that's one point.
All right.
The other point is the bus terminal. Now the bus terminal down by the market. What they need to do there is put a security guard there with a radio dispatch to the other bus terminal at Baker's Corner.
Okay.
And when the people then come from Rams or come from anywhere they went to shop, and you got 10 people or 12 people who to go on the bus. The person will call up the other bus station and tell them send down a bus.
A shuttle?
Who is in front. And I think that will stop all the query and the botheration what we're going through.
Okay.
Okay, so those are my two proposals, and I hope somebody listening will take it to heart and work on it.
Got you.
God bless you.
All right, very good, very good. Not bad at all in terms of suggestions. We'll take them all. Back to the phone. Good morning.
Good morning, Tony.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you. I want to divert from your topic this morning for a little bit because I have a serious concern that I experienced yesterday. And it's becoming regular. Someone took up me here yesterday in Liverpool, by the corner of Liverpool and the Street. In the building there's a barber shop. We go into the barber shop and encounter a difficulty. Because the sidewalk is partially blocked by a vendor from Guyana. Coming out from the barber shop after finish cutting me hair, I encounter something with the thing. I have COVID, not COVID, I have cataract in my eye. I'm going to do the operation pretty soon this week. And my water butt on the table that the lady have partially on the sidewalk, not to Tony, on the sidewalk. And I said to them, soon you guys going to be selling in the street. And I repeat it, I stand up and I said, soon you guys going to be selling in the street. And she and some other guy in there, I think it was about 3 of them, 2 plus the seller, who own the tables with the provision or whatever they're selling it. That could cost me. And you know, one of the things I said, Tony, that aggravates me very much. I look at him, he can't even walk. So, stood up, I went back. And you know my condition, I just said, that's the reason why I need to the sidewalk. But for that to say this, you know, Tony, my government is failing the people, you know. I tell my government because, yes, 150% support them. You put on, yes. You do everything to see them in government. Me, who can't walk, culture who not got no foot, and jam down, I could call name, was almost every length and breadth of this country, following with the town hall meetings, giving them moral support in the endeavor as a new government. Tony, I'm not asking none from the government, no favor. All I'm asking that the government do something to protect people like me, so that I could walk peacefully and not be threatened by no fly by night people come here now. They ain't come here and build up here now. I build up this, help to build this country. And these people, you know, they're boring in the Tony. They're abusing you, cussing you, Tony. Oh, what, you can't even walk. Tony, listen, I'm not happy at all, you know. I'm not a happy camper this morning.
Okay.
And the government have to step up and do something. That little piece of thing, Tony, let me tell you. When you're going up and a vehicle making that right turn to go down into the Lille Street, going on Kentucky for those who know the name of the street, the Lille Street. And you ain't careful as a pedestrian, never mind somebody like me who uses a walker. You could get run over. Thank God that the drivers are very careful and mindful and cautious enough to be pedestrian and people like me. And I want to thank them today. In one term. Tony, I'm calling out the powers that be. Please do something about that lady on the corner of the Lille Street. She's very obnoxious and aggressive. And I'm not going to stand for it. I don't know what might happen, but I'm not going to stand for it. I'm an old man, but I could die now.
Okay.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, I take your point. We all agree with that. Something has to be done, and whether it's Guyanese or not, it doesn't really matter the nationality. But the point is well taken. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Tony,
Yes.
I am for cleanliness in the country and everywhere. And when police and whosoever gonna come on the radio and say that they're removing derelict vehicle from this place and that place, I agree with them with that. As long as the derelict vehicle is serving no purpose and it's in the public traveling area, move it. But if it's in your yard, it's in your yard. And the sanitary people are supposed to make sure that no mosquito is caused by that. But how come them don't know who want to move these things from off the government road? How come they ain't going to move them people from blocking the sidewalk? Tony, nobody's supposed to block the sidewalk. If you Jeep broke down in the street, Tony, you can't go take out the bonnet and drop the engine in the street. Police gonna come and make you move it. They're gonna say you can't do that, you're obstructing traffic. With them people on the sidewalk now obstructing people, and you hear what they tell Noel? But look him, he can't walk. Why look, let me tell you something, Tony. A lot of people around here getting government money, you know, and they're working for it. Nobody's supposed to be stumbling off on the sidewalk and walking the street, and when car come, they touch up on the elbow. It's time to move them people off the sidewalk. Look, one of them down there in front of the social security spread off table. They ain't gonna no respect. Because the people are making them listen. You cannot be blocking it. Nobody say you can't sell. But leave a path for people to walk. Everybody can walk. Good luck them there. Eh? You hear what I'm going to tell you, man? Eh? And the thing about it, you know, whether you're from here, yes or not, nobody have no right to be telling nobody them stupidness. Suppose no really shut down Chitra now. It would have been something else, you know. It ain't everybody going to be mind control and control the anger. I calling on the people them. Make the woman move from there. A blind man been talking about that already. He put up his face on the umbrella. Coming around with the Candid by Liverpool Road to go down there. And just trooped it to tell him, Mike, you know what, a year ago. She not had right there. Tony, oh, look, I get into it. You hear me, brother? Thank you, Tony.
All right. Keep the cool. All right. Lots to take in there. Well, we take all those points. Well, we talk about that forever. I mean, but I don't know. The sidewalk is meant for pedestrian use, and people are using it for other reasons. How do we solve that problem? Well, we have gotten so many suggestions over the years that I don't know. There's no heed. Nobody's taking heed. But I still have hope that something will change, and change soon. Caller before that, a couple of callers before, on the issue of the farmers and the efforts at marketing and so on. That is essential for the farmers, and I agree that, I mean, farmers themselves don't really have the capacity to do storage, and the stuff that they produce, they have to get them off quickly. Otherwise, they lose them, because they, after a while, too quickly, they're no good. And that is where something like the storage facility, something like the Semaco came in, because you can quickly get your produce off your hands, and Semaco then, or whatever the entity would be, would then take it from there through their own process. They would have storage facility, and they would have the capability to market that to the outlets that need that particular item. Since we have so many farmers around the place, as one caller said, you can have several farmers doing the same thing. So there is no real regulation. So each farmer end up with this one product on his or her hands that he can't get rid of. Whereas the Simaco entity would take it in and take care of the distribution beyond that point. Everybody is happy, farmer makes a living, and the entity will be able to hold on to, if need be, they'll be able to hold on to that product for a longer period because they would have the storage capacity. They have the marketing means to get it out to hotels and restaurants and hotels, supermarkets that will deal directly with that entity in bulk. So, all good suggestions, and we will see what happens. Back to the phones we go. Good morning, welcome. Good morning, caller, you're live. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, caller, you're live.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And good morning to the listeners who are abroad. Candid. Yes. So, talking about the farmers, we know Simaco gone umpteen years now. But what has happened, sir, is that a lot of us is not looking at. We have increased in hotels, guest houses, we have increased in cook shops, cook stalls, we have increased in barbecue grills. I mean, you name it, we have increased tremendously. And for the farmers them to continually be crying, right, of not getting enough sales, it's a disgrace. A total disgrace. I mean, you're telling me of all of these increase, I mean, in hotel room, hotels, guest houses, I mean, you name it, simply we have it. And farmers are still on the road begging people to buy a pound of this, buy a pound of that. I mean, even jelly, watermelon, I mean, farmers can't get themselves. With all of these increases in these shops and hotels and the houses, farmers could have just been going to these places, just dropping off and collecting a check. Farmers ain't supposed to be on the road begging people and marrying off food stuff. When you got to buy £2 a head, you are told you got to buy yam with it, or you got to buy something else. It's a shame and disgrace. We have so much cooking going on in things for farmers to be throwing away food stuff, for farmers to be on the road. I mean, for umpteen hours trying to sell things, but yet we have container ships coming here all day of the week, bringing the same stuff
Well, there
that
you go.
we are throwing and feeding to pigs and dogs and other animals.
That's the competition.
Eh?
That's the competition. They're competing with the supermarkets, and the hotels are bringing in containers with the same stuff.
Because we're not looking after our own.
Okay.
We concerned about foreign import and foreign stuff. That is our problem. If we look after our own, we can be almost self-efficient by feeding ourselves. We feed more animals than the people here, because the people here all love to bring in the same food stuff that we grow here, and we have to throw them away to animals, and while they bring them in containers and sell them. And that is the downfall of our government. We have to blame them. Because I remember years ago, right, where when a certain amount of food stuff this year, the government then used to say, listen, this cannot come in here. We're going to sell this until it's no more, and then we bring back the foreign stuff. Something like that could work out. We could say 6 months belongs to our local farmers and 6 months belongs to the foreign import. How about the idea?
It's an idea.
We carry too much stuff here and then bring in the same foreign import stuff. And then the foreign import stuff is so weak, you walk away. You don't last 2-3 days on your table. Don't put it in the fridge just to have to it. I mean, you know it, sir. You go cooking. You know all about it. Put all local stuff on the table, you see what happens. Another thing, sir. I am still requesting and still asking for our local government, our small business association, the private sector, the opposition, and any other interested group or organization, all you come together, organize a meeting, sit down and start coming up with some ideas to create jobs. We're going to cause a havoc in this country, you know. Everybody is calling you and writing you. They want the money. Come in to make a deal. How you going to come in to make a deal when you're not working? And those who are working can't even afford it. We have to come up with some solution to start creating some jobs. Opening up some work for people. And we have the organization, and we have the ideas, we have the people here to do it. We can do it, we always do it. We just come number one in everything throughout the Caribbean. And in North America and South America, we always number one in everything. How come we can't be number one now and start creating jobs and getting our people back to work? That is what we need to do. The way we are going. I'm saying COVID one side, but then COVID, bring me money. That can't work. When you say bring your money, I don't have it. What you do? So all of us in jail cost the state and the taxpayers more, and quickly the country even further. People, we have ideas. We have the means and we have the know-how. We can do it, we can come up with it, and we can execute it and execute it well. Let us do it, people. I'm gone, sir.
Okay. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yeah, but it's only me again.
Yeah.
Politics here. You're talking for myself and talking for what I see going on in the country. You understand? No, Brother Tony, what I see with some of our farmers and our vendors, I believe that our farmers supposed to sell our vendors the thing them that they could make something after when they sell it. But Brother Tony, the reason why the local is not buying from somebody's vendors. The same thing in the supermarket where they buy from the same local farmer. You go in the supermarket, they for 3 something, they for 2 something, and the supermarket paying tax. The supermarket paying whatever, they're paying people to work. And these local vendors out here got them for $5, $6 and all these things. Look at sweet potato. Sweet potato with $6,
Yeah.
Right now I got some sweet potato now. I doing a little thing with a partner, and we got a good amount of sweet potatoes, and I lower the price just to please the ordinary people. Them. Sometimes on Saturdays when I go in the market and I get them sell off, I call good people who I know and I give them and tell home some and maybe give me neighbors them and whoever want. You understand me and show them way? You understand? We can't blame government for everything. People got to find life for themselves. People got to go out and try to create things for themselves. Government. You know what? I wonder if the government will collapse. I wonder if the government, different part of the world, government collapse because of whatever pandemic, whatever come around. Government can't do more what they could do. They don't listen to news. They don't listen to the world news. They don't listen to CNN. They don't listen to the world news. But and see what's going on in the world with this corona. But on earth. Look why I'm right now. Right now I here now looking Tamrin. I don't look after me anymore. I'm looking for Tamrin now to make a little money off it. You understand? People got to create things to themselves and talk about government. In the 70s, when we coming up as a young boy coming up. In the 80s, when we coming up. When we think about government, what government used to work for me? What government do for me? I cut sugarcane, I do construction, I do everything in this country. I work in the hotel to make a living. We must get real and stop talking about government. Government got to look after who can help themselves. Them down in the informal, them down in different departments of the elderly, this thing, and then government got to look at them. And we are also supposed to contribute to let the informal in all those there's some institutions when they establish when benefiting nothing from it, government ain't benefiting nothing from. You understand? Okay, then go to Tony.
Okay.
Oh, but Tony, before go.
Yeah.
I went by the boat, the girl, and I got a little hug, you know. So I just want to say good morning to her, you know.
Okay.
Just a little sharp may drink, but I tell her make the belly don't stuff up, so.
Okay, great.
All right, take care.
All right. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Noyes.
Good morning.
I've been listening for a while, right?
Uh-huh.
They're talking about the vendors, the vendoring on the street. I don't laugh. Do you know I don't laugh, right? The very first Saturday of 1991, I was arrested and charged for selling me own wrong food on the sidewalk, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't understand why these things have not been enrooted. That, okay, if the locals can do it, how is it foreigners coming and doing it? I can pause there on that, you know. How is it we emphasizing so much about agriculture and we does not even have a junior minister of agriculture on St. Kitts? I'm not pointing the fingers towards nobody. All the rest times before, NIA always had a minister of agriculture and St. Kitts had a minister of agriculture.
Why you need a junior minister? I don't understand.
No, the reason for that,
Uh-huh.
we have a federal minister of agriculture.
Right.
He's based on Nevis. But we the farmers on St. Kitts, we does not have a minister or junior minister of agriculture that we could go and speak to daily from Monday to Friday. If you understand what I'm getting at. Because the federal minister of agriculture here to me is like, if you understand the whole thing is this, he then, to me, the permanent secretary of agriculture is like, he more into book thing, because he was a teacher. I do not know if he did agricultural science in school, but he can't come out to relate to the farmers the way he should. To me, we ain't seeing it. To me, it's like, ain't real. We're supposed to at least have, if we're developing agriculture to some extent, we need to have somebody on St. Kitts who we could go to relate to. Ain't real. All this is shop talk. And the very last caller, I hate when he come talking about government. When the animals them had the amblyoma tick on them, how is it he never joined with the other set of farmers and import the vertical to spray the animals? Ask him how much thousands of dollars he end up get from government when he animals them they're dead. So tell him stop talk. When he get it, here make no noise. When other people trying to help themselves, he opening him out. He to one-sided. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. All right. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nash.
Good morning, sir.
It's interesting that some people suddenly want to absolve government of its responsibilities, right? Yes, government cannot do everything, but government also has a responsibility to facilitate, as a facilitator, right, to create opportunities, to provide the environment for people to thrive in, okay? That is absolutely the rule of government, the role of government. And to bring in investment, foreign direct investment and other investment, okay, because we are limited in terms of capital and know-how. We can't, it's difficult for us, having not had the experience in doing it, to set up major, whether factories or industries or plants, and then look for markets for the products. Okay, we are limited in our capability insofar as that is concerned. Government's role is to go out there and get people who know these things, who have the finance, who have the markets, right? negotiate the best deals for the locals in terms of whether it be wages or whatever concessions they are prepared to give or get. Okay? That is the role of government, right? And if we don't make them fulfill that role, if we sit back and say, well, government can't do everything, they're going to just sit back there and do nothing. We've been in a crisis. We've had multiple crises before, okay? And each time we came out of them with flying colors, because we didn't just sit down and wait for things to happen. We went out and found new ways of doing things. And I can think of the transition from sugar, the CBI. When the World Recession came about, the land for debt swap was a way of dealing with our debt to GDP ratio, which is important in attracting capital. Okay? The SIDF. Things like these is what need to happen now. Think out of the box and come up with something, some new ventures, some new innovative ideas of doing new ways of doing things, so that our economy can get back on a growth path. That is what we need to do. And in all honesty, just concentrating on agriculture is not going to do it. Agriculture alone cannot sustain the standard of living we've become accustomed to. It just can't happen. We can't compete with the Dominicas and the Guyanas with the, who apparently at least have the agricultural production together. They've been in it. They know what to do to make things happen. We are not in that state. Okay? So what I'm saying is, I think Kyle Brown had it right. It takes a collective effort. What you need is a kind of a think tank to come up with ideas and ways of moving forward. But just sitting back and just waiting for things to happen, waiting for things to go back to normal, that's just not going to do it.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. And caller, you're the final caller. Go ahead, quickly.
Tony.
Yes.
Thank God for a mother and father like mine. You understand? They teach us how to work, they teach us how to save. They teach us when things bad, when we could make things good, and put something aside, we do that.
30 seconds.
You understand? And I say again and I say again, government cannot do everything. Look at the Spanish, look at look at the Jamaican. Look at the
15 seconds.
Spanish them. And house rent, I mean, rent so high in Bastille. Look at them. I don't want to know how they pay the mortgage, they pay the rent mortgage.
Okay, gotta go.
You understand?
All right. That's going to do it for today. Thank you all for all of your suggestions, all of your input, some very good ones all the way around. And we hope that people are listening, powers that be. Things will change for the better, but it's all a work in progress. I'm Tony Ness, and we will talk again the next time we're on Frank and Candid.
Isaac Radio, entertaining the nation, enjoyed by the world.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world. Whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous, you can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us on the web at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises 466-9595.
Honey, I have so much to do. And now, I need to go to TDC Home and Building Depot to buy the new fridge.
Samantha, stop worrying. You can purchase the fridge and whatever else you may need with TDC Home and Building Depot.